Hey friends, it's Maya Leela. I'm in Tbilisi, Georgia, and I was just realizing I should just take all my watercolors and put them around here as my background. So I have all my colors. I was just on a call with a coaching client, and we came to this really profound truth at the end, which is sharing your truth is never a burden. It's always a gift. And so many of us, well, let me just say it again because it's really important. Sharing your truth, your emotional truth, your present moment, like what's alive, what's real in your heart, in your soul, even in your mind, even if it's being crazy, sharing your truth is never a burden. It's always a gift on all levels. For example, if you share your truth with somebody and they're not capable of meeting you with safety, with presence, then you have that information. You know, oh, this person isn't capable of holding space for this. And it could be right now, or it could be something that is habitual. So now you have information of like, okay, like now I've shared my truth. This person isn't capable of holding it or holding space for me. Who in my life might have the capacity? And we're taught, we live in a very twisted society where people hide their truth. I hide my truth, especially like people pleasers. We hide our truth to maintain this like illusion of peace and harmony that's actually disharmonious because we are swallowing something that either is bothering us or exhausting us or hurting us because we don't want to hurt the other person. And that just causes so much like crap, like energetic bullshit and grossness. And most people that I've worked with, myself included, we feel like, oh, if I share my sadness, if I share my pain with a friend, with a colleague, with somebody in my life, I am burdening them with this thing that they're not able to hold or carry, or they don't want to hold or carry. Because a lot of us felt like burdens as children because we live in a fucked up society where parents are isolated and trying to raise a child and work a job and do it all by themselves in like their own little houses. Like we're all overburdened by the system, which is completely out of alignment with what a human needs to be relaxed and feel safe and supported, which is community. So we felt like burden. So now we feel like if there's anything negative or anything that takes emotional capacity, that it's a burden that we're putting on other people, when actually it's a gift. I love it when my friends are like, hey, I'm going through something really difficult. Can you hold space for me? And I get to hold space for them. It makes me feel necessary. It makes me feel more deeply connected to them because like I go through the same shit that my friends go through. We all go through the same shit. It's not like anybody is not going through the shit that you're going through. They are. They just might not be telling you about it because they're like, oh, I don't want to burden you. So it makes us feel less alone when we share our burdens and we share our truth of like what's alive. And again, if a person isn't capable of holding your truth, you don't have to get mad at them. You don't have to, you don't have to take it as a sign of rejection and that something's wrong with you. You take it as a sign of their capacity of like, oh, this person doesn't have capacity right now or in general. And who in my life does? Where can I find people with capacity that I can show up for as a safe space and who can show up for me as a safe space? So yeah, what would that mean for you in your life if your truth was never a burden, if your truth was always a gift? And what do I mean by your truth? What I mean by your truth is the truth of what you're feeling. And it doesn't mean that the story or the situation or your perception of what's going on in the world that's causing the emotion is true. It might not be true. A lot of times it's not even fucking true. But your experience is true. Your emotion is true. So you can share that. You can share the purity of your experience and your emotion in this story that you're experiencing, without the story necessarily being true. And it's actually really good to start to disconnect from your attachment to the story being true in order to validate how you're feeling. Because the story doesn't have to be true for you to have a valid feeling. Anything you feel is valid. And if you are reacting or feeling something that is coming from a place of not truth, going through the process of expressing it and feeling it can actually help you get closer to the truth. That's why triggers are actually one of our biggest blessings, if not one of our biggest blessings. Triggers are blessings because they show us where we're not free, where we are believing a lie. So when we bring up these triggers and really feel through them and confront the mechanisms that are causing the emotional dysregulation, we're able to increase our own capacity to hold love, to be connected to the truth, to feel what's there without judging it or shaming it or making it wrong. Again, whether or not it's true doesn't matter. It's what's your experience and what could be the possible reasons that you're having this experience. What could be the stories that you created as a child in order to protect yourself from trauma and wounding that are not necessarily true about yourself or about the world. I don't know if this is making any sense, but your truth is never a burden. Your truth is always a gift. And triggers are also one of the biggest gifts of life because they show us where we're not free and where we can expand our capacity to love.